Hopefully she will be joining.
She is.
Hey,
Hi.
I'm good. I love it.
I'm
How
doing
are
good.
you?
Listen, tech is not my thing. Whenever I have to do one of these lives, I need like
I,
12 people to help me.
I'm like, have we started yet? It's
Yeah, I'm
like,
like, is it
is
on?
she there? Can
Hello.
I talk? You
How
know,
are you?
hanging. Everything is good on this end, but for the world,
Yeah.
family is good. How about you? How are the kids doing? They're getting
They're,
so big.
I know, they're 12 now. They're
Oh,
12, which I cannot believe when
the
that
nerve.
happened. I know, they started 7th grade.
Oh, so what are you doing? Are you homeschooling?
I
What?
am homeschooling for a little while. I'm hoping they can get back to school soon. I kind of left it open with their schools, like, the minute it feels really safe to go back, I'm just going to send them back. Please hold their spot, because they miss their friends. They
Yeah,
want to be there.
yeah.
But for right now, I just feel it a little more safe to keep them home.
I agree. My
Yeah,
girls are studying from home too. I mean,
good.
we're itching to get back to campus, but things are just confusing and
Too uncertain.
not quite safe. So
Right.
I'm just glad that they're staying put, even if they're sick of me.
I know. I love it. I love it. I honestly, it's been, in that sense, it's been the best thing to be able to have so much time with them and not be traveling as much as I always do. And that's been a blessing in disguise. I feel like we've gotten to know each other in a different way, even
Yeah.
than we ever have. Even though I'm so close to them and they're like attached to my hip, it's still this time, because everything slowed down so much.
Mhm.
We became, even more of a family than we were before. So it's been a really beautiful thing.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff.
We all need to slow down a little bit as we.
Yeah, I definitely did. I'd be doing way too much. I know we're here to talk about voting, which is super important and relevant right now. I'm so glad that, on my follow, everybody here, I hope we get a lot of people out here because we want to talk about this. We want to get everybody out there to vote. I think if there's anything, one message that you could give to everybody who's watching right now, all our followers, what would be the one thing that they need to concentrate on, the one thing that you would want to tell them?
Yeah, there's a lot at stake in this election, and I know that there are a lot of, black and brown folks and young folks and people who feel alienated by this system, who are frustrated. Uh,
Yes,
and sometimes that frustration turns to cynicism, and people want to sit out. They don't feel a part of it, so they just want to, ignore the process. But here's the thing: democracy continues, even if we're frustrated. Um, there will be one of two people who will be elected in this election. And there is a clear choice. And if we don't cast our votes and make our votes and make our voices heard, somebody else will. And the stakes in this election are just too high. I understand the cynicism. I understand the frustration. I am not a fan of politics, but
yeah,
I never let any frustration or alienation I've felt in my life keep me from casting a vote. I
absolutely.
never believed that not voting is ever a viable option. So that's what I want to tell folks that are listening today. We simply can't afford to have people sitting out or casting protest votes. Everybody has got to make their voice heard because the stakes in this election are too high. And whoever is in office is going to have an impact on this generation, on our
Absolutely.
children, on whether or not we have a healthy planet, whether there is racial justice or criminal justice, whether we ever make any progress on immigration reform or have access to health care in the midst of a crisis. That's what's at stake. So we need
Yeah.
everyone voting.
I think it comes down to, like, do you like the way things are now, or would you like to see a change?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And you have to vote accordingly. I mean, I think for the Latino community, it's super important. We're like 32 million strong here in the United States, or more. I could have those numbers wrong, but I know we're a lot. And I know if every single one of us went out and voted, we could decide who the president is. And so what my thing is always kind of to empower my community and everybody, because I have fans right now from all over the world, and they're from 7 years old to 70 years old, which is what I love about my fan base and everybody who's been with me for so many years. And the truth is that we all do make a difference. I have this thing on She Who Dares Wins. It's one of my favorite sweaters, because you have to take the chance. You can't ever be put back because you think you won't make a difference, or the little thing that you do doesn't matter. It absolutely does. I mean, I've spent a lifetime kind of, you know, the little things that I do in my life kind of affecting so many people and not even believing it. But the truth is, that is how it works.
One thing I remind people, in this last election, when this president was elected, the margin of difference in the vote per precinct in several key swing states.
Yes.
5 votes per precinct. All right, so let's just sit with that. 5 votes. So anybody out there who thinks that their vote doesn't matter, that was the difference in who this president is in this election. 5 votes. So not only is it important for each of your listeners to vote, but it is even more important for them to reach out to the people in their orbit.
Yeah, we could have changed that with the people in this house right now.
The point.
Right.
So so the truth is counter to what people think. They think, well, my vote doesn't matter. It's like, oh no, when you sit out, when you forget, when you're not organized to get that mail-in vote, or if you don't feel like standing in line or oversleep on election day, your lack of voting is making the difference in this election.
It's hurting. It's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I was a huge fan of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I think you were too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's an iconic American figure who stood up for women's rights, for equal rights. How do you, I would love to just hear your take on her, and you probably knew her much better than most of us, so. Yeah,
Barack and I were privileged to call her a friend. We had dinner with her and her husband. We would see her almost every holiday. Just wow. An amazing force of a woman. I have always been moved by just her story of how, you know, she had a family, raised a family, then went back to law school and faced a level of discrimination of being one of a few really bad, smart people, not just
badasses. I mean, you see that picture of her at Harvard with all the guys and just like her, and she looks like she's 14 years old. She looks so little. Yeah.
At the top of her class, came in guns blazing, but she was cast aside. Women during those days were often segregated within the law firms that were hiring them. After all that she had done, there were some people who said, well, you can't practice law. To think about how far she had to come and how hard she fought to make sure that we had the rights that we deserve, to protect our interest as women, to protect our rights to control our bodies. That is the legacy. That is just a small part.
And those are the things that are at stake right now, right?
Absolutely. And it is a stark reminder that the balance of the Supreme Court, we say this in every election. We said this in the last election. Why, who is in the Oval Office matters, because they will choose the person who will replace her. And the Supreme Court determines the most impactful laws in the land: voting rights, equal rights, criminal justice, LGBTQ plus rights, abortion rights, right to life. All of it happens at the Supreme Court. And these are lifetime appointments. So we have lost a true champion. And it hurts, but it also really amplifies why everyone within the sound of our voices makes their vote and their voice heard.
Yeah, she gave us some great advice about how we could help, which was to be our best selves, and so we make sure that we're doing all that we can in our way, and voting is a big part of that for every single person, no matter what you do. And she also gave us some good marriage advice. I saw you were doing your podcast. You have your new podcast. We're all tuning in. And you were talking about marriage advice too and all that. I just think it's great to to have such powerful women talking about that these things are work. They take work. And it's just like everything in our lives, right? It's just like the election. It's just like, you have to get out there and you have to do the work. You can't wait around for somebody else to make it good for you. You have to do your part.
Well, you know a lot about working hard. It has been so much fun to watch your career advance and develop, you becoming an icon and a role model and a mother and putting family first. And
that's the one, the mother. The mother is the one. That's the one you want to get right.
Yeah, nothing else really matters. And as mothers, one of the reasons why you and I are sitting here today doing this IG Live is because we know that we have a responsibility to ensure that our kids have a country that is worthy of their dreams. And we can't do that if we don't get out here and use our voices. So to anyone who is a parent, you know, just think about what will happen if we don't change this president. Think about the world we're going to be handing over to them and the level of chaos and continued confusion that our young people will experience, and they don't deserve it. We have raised them to be much more open and thoughtful and
accepting
and compassionate. And right now, we're not seeing those values being played out in the highest office in the land. And those are choices that we make. So we have a responsibility to get out there and vote for leaders who will give our kids the country they deserve. So thank you for using your platform in this way.
Thank you. No, all of us need to do that. You know, I did something with Lin-Manuel. It's called Vote Like a Madre, where mothers all made pinky promises to go out and vote, because we decide what country our children, what kind of society our children are going to grow up in. And who's in office is probably one of the most important things we can do as mothers, is to vote and make sure that we make our voices heard. And I just urge every single person who is listening to Michelle and myself right now, you are there and we love you and we need you. We need you to understand how important you are. And we need you to understand, like she said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes can make the difference. So everybody has to understand that there's all of the kind of discouragement that you felt in your past about, oh, my vote counts, it doesn't count, nobody cares. It's not true. We care, and it matters more than ever now. So please get out there and vote and do what you need to do. Early vote, go to the poll, stand in line, do what you have to do. It's one day out of your life. It's gonna affect the rest of your, the next 4 to 8 years maybe.
And if anybody has any questions about where, how, what to do, go to whenweallvote.org. All the information is there. You don't have to figure a lot of people around who can tell you how to get a mail-in ballot, how to vote by mail, how to vote in person. But when you go out there, just be safe, wear a mask, bring a bag lunch, because we hope lines be long. We don't want anybody to leave because they're hungry.
It's a field trip. It's a field trip. Everybody go together. Yeah, and I'm gonna post all that stuff on my Instagram and in all my socials, so you guys can have as much information as you need. If you have any trouble voting or knowing what to do, we want everybody. You have to register. You have to all the things that you need to do. So for sure, we're gonna make sure we do that.
Thanks, babe.
Absolutely, it's good to see you.
It's so good to see you. Give everybody my love, big hugs. Or do you have to reach up now and hug the kids?
Yes, absolutely. You take care.
All right.
I hope that we can all be together soon.
It's gonna happen soon. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little chat.